bartering with first aid supplies. Sounds good? Is it? Let's find out. Is it easy to do? It can be. You can get supplies very, very inexpensively right now for compared to what would be in a long-term grid down situation for barter. Is again, that's the premise for this series on bartering, and they also do play out and work well for and just everyday living. Bandages, they go fast. Had a family member that got a significant injury, and they required a number of stitches, and we went through boxes and boxes and boxes. I think it was around 30 boxes before it got to the point where they were not needing to be covered with bandages because of the lacerations that they received. So it goes more quickly than people think. For example, there's a disaster relief group out there, or it's a business really. He does a lot of different things. Bear Independent. He has a first aid kit system out there that highly recommend if you're interested. Don't have any affiliation with him or anything at this time, but highly recommend his stuff. Good quality, good guy. I don't know him personally, but I know several of his friends. So, but anyway, his stuff is really good, and he has put together a bucket kit, a 5-gallon bucket kit for the maintenance after the major trauma event has happened. So say a major wound occurs where somebody gets a serious laceration with, say, this is my words, not his, but chainsaw gets your leg. Very common injury with anybody that's doing work with fire, with chainsaws, cutting firewood, or clearing of debris. It happens more often than we like to think about. But he's done the research. He knows the numbers. A 5-gallon bucket, what he puts in that bucket, I think it's under $100 to get it today. Great price, by the way. I spent way more than that because I didn't know about his product at the time, or I don't think, maybe he hadn't released it yet. But anyway, $100 for that bucket to have on hand to treat during the recovery, not the surgery, not the stitching up, not the stopping of the immediate trauma, but the recovery process. A 5-gallon bucket, the gear and materials that you would need to maintain and stay healthy for one injury. And again, great product, love his stuff, but it's depends on the injury and how severe it is. It could take more than that. So check it out, Bear Independent. I'll drop his link for his company's product below, because I don't remember the name of the actual company right now. I'm blanking on that. But anyway, so those bandages go fast. Highly recommend getting them. You can do substitutes, old clothing if it's properly cleaned. Not ideal, but you do what you got to do that. Duct tape is another great thing for first aid. It was originally a first aid product. Make sure if you're buying it, you buy a good quality duct tape. Some of the adhesives do cause problems if attached to skin, so be aware of what you're using. You got to do your own research, and it's always changing out there, so you double check every time you go out to make a purchase on that stuff. Over-the-counter meds, specifically Tylenol and ibuprofen. There's been studies released that say that doing a stack or alternating that is almost or as effective or more effective, depending on which report you read which report you read about then compared to morphine. So it's like 2 ibuprofen, the over-the-counter strength, then 2 hours later 2 Tylenol, and you just alternate those until you get better, usually 2 to 3 days. That's one option. There's a lot of other over-the-counter meds. Another one that I recommend people look at if they're managing pain is Arnica montana. It is homeopathic, not as commonly known. All these products have great shelf life. There's actually reports that they last significantly longer than the expiration dates. Again, do your own research, make your own decisions. I am not a medical professional. I didn't say this at the beginning. I am not a medical professional. Do your own research. Please do your own research. But other things to have on hand that people don't think about is antibiotic creams and and then also Neosporin, antifungal creams. I'm not talking about the fish antibiotics and all that stuff. A lot of people get on that kick on it, and I'm sure there's a time and a place for that, but most people are not trained on how to do that and experience that. And so unless you're a medical professional, or you're trying to do something with a barter sense, I would really highly encourage not doing that, just because you don't know if that individual is going to hurt their family member or someone else by administering something. So please use discretion. Now, on the flip side of that, the creams are, again, over the counter. Anybody can use them. They do help. Neosporin or the generic equivalent of that is, that stuff goes faster than people think it does. It really, really does. Somebody that is doing long-term recovery of something, going through 5-6 tubes of that is not unrealistic, depending on what it is and what's going on, but per event is not uncommon in my experience. Another thing people don't think about is vitamins. This goes into the medical first aid stuff, and because you'll be eating a diminished diet, and even today, I was just thinking, like today, they still recommend taking multivitamins today, just because we don't know if the fruits and vegetables have enough of what they used to have, not actually supposed to have, but used to have compared to years ago. Another thing that actually, this is one of the ones that I really like is for a barter perspective, is most people aren't. All the other ones that I've listed off are really hard to come up with yourself, and unless you're growing some herbs and stuff, and that's herbal medicine in homeopathic medicine is they're different. They are different. So do some looking into that. But like Arnica montana is a homeopathic, and then like herbal teas, that's towards the whole different angle. The herbal stuff where you grow your the plants, make a tincture or that type of thing, that is reproducible, but it's not as easily done if you're not experienced with it. And if you're going to try to do anything like that, get some training, go through some classes, learn what you're doing, not just because the neighbor taught you how to do something, or I've been doing it for years. It's knowing what it really does, really knowing it, and having the medical expertise or training or specialty in that is important. So that's an actual sustainable barter thing where you can grow those things in your garden or your yard, and people think that it's weeds, but it's actually the medicine that you're treating or helping them get rid of that sore foot because they're on their feet. They've not been on their feet for years. So they had office work, and now they're out in their garden trying to garden more. Sorry, now back to look at my notes here. Bounced around there because I saw something I'd skipped. I apologize for that. The reading glasses and contact solutions. You can actually make contact solution. It's not as good as the store-bought, in my opinion. I don't use contacts myself, but I have some family members that do. You can make some sort of contact solution that will allow people to have something. It doesn't store forever. It does go bad, the store-bought kind. But you can actually make some. But that's a possibility if you have the right knowledge base. But the one I do like is reading glasses. Those are inexpensive. They're not replaceable, but with very inexpensive part kits, you can get enough to repair literally 500 or 600 glasses, and you can actually cannibalize, like these are just readers, and you can cannibalize the screws and other pieces like that, and with the right types of tools, you can repair or fix them in ways that people don't easily know. And so that's a really good one. Another one that I do like uh, is feminine hygiene supplies. They're right now everything's disposable. In a grid down situation where you don't get a resupply, you're gonna have to figure out a way to make new ones or have ones that are reusable. I'm not the expert on sewing or anything like that, but it is even done today. And so having those in the knowledge base to do that is a barterable skill that in our society, people don't even know how to patch pants that get ripped. And so that's one. And another one that stores and can be stored for a long period of time is contraceptives. There are a wide variety of those out there. Do your own research, figure out how long they're viable for, of course. And that is pretty much it. I've kind of glossed over a lot because first aid is really knowledge based in my opinion. And then there's mindset, knowledge, then there's the application, and then there is the gear, the tools and stuff. There are people out there that can make a tourniquet out of just about anything. They know how to make a tourniquet with some vines out of the jungle. And then there's other people that wouldn't even know what a tourniquet was if you put one in their hand. So it's the knowledge and the ability to use it that is the most valuable barter skill in this situation. So get the knowledge, get the skill set. Believe it or not, most modern nurses, doctors, EMTs, they're not trained in this. It's not a knock against them. They don't need to be. It's because there's a resupply system. They're not thinking if there's not going to be a situation back. I know a lot of people that just don't think about this type of thing that are in that medical profession, and that's fine. Again, don't need to in today's world. But as a prepper, somebody that's thinking about bartering options, look at a way to actually change it up and see what you can make, produce, and have a knowledge base there to resupply and help your community out. So I'm just going to encourage you to plan ahead, get prepared, and remember your future self will thank you.